Recording started. Hey, y'all. Hey. This is Best Parks. Hashtag Single Moms Level Up. This is the Just Be podcast. Hashtag Single Moms Level Up. This episode is, a little personal. Personal and current. Some of the things I tell you are things that happened in the past, but this is something that has reoccurred, and I feel I need to share. I feel I need to share because a lot of us single moms are going through similar things. I needed to take my earplug out because you probably weren't hearing me because I thought I was talking loud, but I was just, anyway. A lot of us single moms are going through some stressful situations as our kids are growing and changing. And sometimes that causes us to neglect our health. And I thought I had a better handle on that because I had approached something similar to this years ago and I was doing much better. But I had a situation come up and something from my past came up that I thought or had recently been praying that God would help me to resolve that and kick it to the curb. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, and a lot of people, especially if you really don't know me, don't realize that in the past I had a very, very bad temper. Very bad temper. I was short and quick. People would see glimpses of it, but nobody ever really saw the whole complete buck wild lion roar of it, except maybe my kids. Um, and that was only once or twice in their lifetimes. But I have been doing better. I had tamed it, so I thought. But it was coming back up, and of course, our children bring these things back up into our lives because we need to address them. So, needless to say, this is what this is what the subject is today, y'all. Just Be podcast episode 4, Echocardiogram. Yeah, I said it. I'm gonna move this down. Sorry. I know I do that every time. But echocardiogram, that's the subject. For that's the subject. This is bothering me right here. Can I get that out of my face? I don't like it. Boom. Gone. Okay. I don't know why that was bothering me, but it was. Let me fix my mic. Okay, it's bothering me because this is hard. This is hard for me to do. I'm trying to keep my head so that that light isn't in the mirror and distracting, but this is hard because I'm having to be very vulnerable in the moment, and I hope this helps somebody. So, a couple weeks ago, maybe a week to 2 weeks ago, um, I got a little pissed off, angry, perturbed, um, livid at my daughter. And because she didn't do something that I felt she should have done, I'm looking back at it and I understand what was happening, but it still caused my body to react in a way that is very unhealthy. So I got angry at my daughter, livid at her. Um, but what brought me back was holding my grandson and realizing that, hey, I shouldn't allow myself to get this pissed off, that the center of my chest was it just felt like somebody was grabbing onto my heart and just squeezing it. That's an anger that I suppressed and kept down for quite some time. Didn't think it would come up. Um, have been asking God to help me with my anger issues and my control issues, and been praying about that. Um, you know, um, Implementing some meditation with God and um, reading His Word and all that as well. But when you ask for God to do something, He's gonna put you to the test. The way for him to heal you in that situation is to bring the situation up. And what he's looking for us to do is to, in that situation, in the middle of it, in the beginning of it, before it goes too far, to stop and say, God, this is what I need you to, this right here is what I need you to help me with. And so I did that. Because I was so pissed off and livid, I slammed the door, but I have my grandson in my arms and I feel this pain and I feel just going all through my whole body. All the way, I could feel it in my fingertips and my toes and going up the back of my neck and in my, it wasn't good. Because as I'm standing there holding my grandson, I'm thinking, oh God, this ain't the way I want to go. Not like this. um, this ain't good. I need you to help me with this. Help me to calm myself down. Help whatever this is that just took place in my body because I felt things changing and something going on in my body. And I was like, oh God, please don't let this be something that's going to permanently damage me because I couldn't have the wherewithal and the wisdom that you have over situations like this. So I've come to understand that really what I was upset and pissed off about and livid about was the fact that I didn't respect my own boundaries. I didn't ask for what I wanted or needed. I didn't respect her boundaries. There was just so much that I was not doing. And then I was trying to control her reaction to what she didn't even know that I needed from her. What the what? What the what? How can I do that? That was a whole thing. And I had to apologize to her, tell her that it was a miscommunication and I was upset. And we had a whole conversation about it. Of course, initially she thought I was blaming her, but I had to tell her, I'm not blaming you. It's just that we have a lot of miscommunication between each other. Um, she's a young adult now. And I was just telling her we have a miscommunication between each other. And I would like for things to go better. Um, for myself, I had to speak to me because that feeling didn't go away after I prayed about it. That feeling didn't go away when I thought I was calming myself down. I couldn't calm myself down enough to the point that the next day I felt some kind of way, still wasn't right, and my chest was still hurting. I went to work and was like, I can't do this. I need to go to the doctor. I went to work, and our job has this new insurance thing that I didn't check to see if I didn't have a primary care physician. Truthfully, I'm gonna tell the truth on that. I didn't have a primary care physician, but I didn't look to see if I could find one. I hadn't, done my checkups yet. None of that stuff had been done yet for this year. And truth be told, none of it had been done for 3 years. I didn't realize that until I went to look for a primary care physician. She started asking me questions. And when I really thought about answering those questions, I realized I hadn't been checked since 2019. Part of that is because I didn't have insurance. Um, the other part of that is that I was going through some things and forgot about myself and was taking care of, yet again, other people, my children, my child, and not myself. And so forgetting about me and not doing what I put out there, you know, um, with Single Moms Level Up. One of the things in the focus journal that I share with other single moms is about your physical. What are you doing to take care of you? I um I talk about self-care. I talk about self-love and how you have to do all those things and then have a connection with the spirit to help you to steward those things well and to do what you need to do. And that's what I was doing for myself. But here comes a situation where God puts me in, or reveals to me through this situation that I haven't totally addressed that, that I had addressed it to a point, but I hadn't addressed it to its core. And so this situation came up, I believe, to show me that. So I've let myself go. You know what I'm saying? You know how sometimes people say that I've let so and so let themselves go. Well, I'm telling you, I let myself go for the past 3 years. And I don't know. I just, that was my response to what was happening. And it was my response to the fact of not being in control. And I let myself get out of control. And it was a gradual thing. It wasn't all at once. But because in 2019, I was doing well. I was doing well. I had lost 30 pounds and I was doing well and all this other things. And then some stuff happened. I got fired from my job. Then I was doing my thought that God was trying to tell me to go ahead and go ahead with my interior design business that I had opened in 2016. And it was sitting there and I wasn't doing nothing with it. So I jumped into that and was going to start doing staging for homes. And I bought furniture to do the staging to start myself out. And y'all know what happened in 2020. Mhm. Yeah, so I got a garage full of furniture that I never used for staging. So that went on. Then God took me on a journey for 31 days with my now mentor where he totally just on the inside, y'all, on the inside, he cleaned me up, y'all. He cleaned me up. And as as Aunt Bam says, one of Tyler Perry's characters says, from the rooter to the tutor, God just like gutted me out and had took all these things out that were holding me, that were affecting me, that were doing all kinds of things to me. And now I'm at this point where he's working on the outside of me to match the inside. But it was apparently there's one last thing, one more thing, excuse me, that happened. This one last thing that needed to be let go. This one last thing that needed to be handled and uh, a grip put on it. So, because of the things that and the work that I had done on the inside with through self-love and through self-examination and through heart healing classes, sessions, counseling sessions and all those things, and through focused journaling, the you know God's working on the outside of me now and having me to pay attention. Look at what's on the outside. I need to fix it. I need to participate in this. And so, um, being a child that had asthma, and I still do, and allergies, and I still do, but I had it so bad when I was little, I was in and out of the hospital a lot. And back in the 70s, they didn't know enough about asthma and allergies to know that you could still live and still have a life and still be active athletically and still have these things going on. So as I was growing up, I didn't I wasn't allowed to participate in PE. I wasn't allowed to do this. I wasn't allowed to do that. I was always being told, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't. So, because of my allergies at the time, and a lot of it was valid. A lot of it was really valid because I was allergic to the atmosphere, basically. The pollution. If there was fresh cut grass, I could not be outside at recess. I had to be inside because it would send me into a whole asthma attack and a whole, episode for about 3 days or whatever, possibly hospitalization. All of that would happen. But when that's told to you all the time, and I'm not a child and I don't totally understand why I can't do things, even though I can't breathe, I'm just thinking, I can't do these things because I'm not capable. But it wasn't because I wasn't capable. It was just at the time, my asthma and allergies were so overwhelming for my body, and there was not ways for me to address that. I couldn't do these things. So I think it was about in fourth or fifth grade, I was introduced to some breathing techniques, came across this booklet that I was given um, at that time, and they were breathing techniques for me to be able to calm myself, um, to be able to breathe my way through an asthma attack, if I needed to. This was like emergency situation things, or so that I can get to my inhaler or whatever, and also to control my emotions. So I took it too far, and controlling my emotions, I voided them out. I didn't. I voided them out and did not respond to emotions. Um, then Then in 5th grade, some things happened where I was often left alone on the playground because everybody's in the grass playing and I can't play in the grass. Cause still it get in the grass, I start inhaling, start having an asthma attack. Just the smell of it, and if it kicks up on me, I just break out in this horrible rash. And if it, gets in my clothes, then I'm constantly itching to the point that I would scratch until I would bleed and have blood under my nails because it would itch so bad. But it's just though all these types of things. And so as I got older, I didn't realize that that was still in the back of my mind and still needed to come out. And so back in 2017, 18, somewhere in there, the employer that I was working with actually paid for Weight Watchers online. So I was able to get the app, and they paid for it, and you were given a credit for doing Weight Watchers online. You were given a credit for getting scores on your readings because they would do health checks once a year, and so you would get a $25 credit off of your insurance, your health insurance, that they would give you every month because you passed all the tests that they did. But these tests did happen twice a year. So I would always pass those tests, but I took advantage of the Weight Watchers. I read the material, which is what a lot of people don't do, to realize that your job may offer some things that are available for you that you're not not totally aware of. But I did this, and I was on Weight Watchers for a long time, so I learned how to eat properly. So when they didn't offer it the next year, I continued with what I knew, and what Weight Watchers had taught me, about foods. And so I continued on with that and was doing well and kept the weight off and everything. And then things just started going a little cray cray at home. So what I found out was that I was really and had always been very good with handling and organizing and getting things done at work. But when it came to home, I was lacking. I was lacking a lot because I was freaking exhausted, because I wasn't getting enough sleep. I didn't put proper boundaries on for myself and with other people that were part of my life back then, and I allowed them to come into my life and dictate things that they wanted to happen and how they wanted to happen, and they would affect my mood, they would affect everything, and of course that would affect my children. And there was two people that were in my life that would just do that all the time. So I finally implemented some boundaries, and neither one of them liked it. And they acted just plumb fools half the time. And so I implemented these boundaries, and I was like, this is just how it's gonna have to be, because I need some space. So I just and what I did, I didn't tell them, hey, I'm giving you a boundary. That's not how people receive things. I just backed off and stopped giving information. So um stopped giving information and did not explain why I was stopping the information. Um, I just backed off and stopped doing that. One of them pressed a lot, and I said, "You know what? I got it. It's good. I got it. Um, I'm I'm not requesting your feedback on this. I prefer not to talk about it." And I would say things of that sort, and they would just get all huffy and puffy and throw a doggone tantrum. It was just ridiculous for grown people to do this. But it was happening. But anyway, let me get back to the echocardiogram. So I went to the doc I went ended up going to the emergency room. My daughter went with me, and they checked my heart and everything, and I knew within me what the issue was. It was the fact that I allowed myself to get so livid and pissed off that it affected my whole body. Hadn't had that particular situation happen since I was little. And I said I would never let it happen again in my life, but here it shows up. And I realize it's that I'm under a high stress and allow myself to be stressed out so bad that this happened. It happened once before, when I was in a relationship that wasn't working out and things were going crazy. And I was feeling stressed about it because I thought that my son was being affected in a way, but come to find out that he was just having child some childhood things that were going on just because, something didn't happen his way, he reacted another way, and it had nothing to do with what I thought it had to do with. But it's crazy, y'all. The only person that we could control is ourselves. And when we have self control, that teaches our children to have self control, that teaches ourselves to love ourselves and accept and protect the boundaries that we have in place for ourselves and for other people. It helps us to not be disappointed. It helps us not to lash out and throw things on our children. And of course, it's going to be them because they're the ones that are closest to us. But I went to the emergency room. They checked my heart. They said my blood pressure was very high. I knew it was high, and my blood pressure has never been high. Regardless of the weight that I have on me, it has never been high. Um, and this was high, and they let me leave with my blood pressure high, and just told me to follow up with primary care my primary care physician. But one of the doctor actually told me, "Well, monitor my blood pressure for a week and then follow up." I was like, "A week?" I was like, "Man, my blood pressure is high." I ain't trying to argue with you. I was like, first off, my blood pressure's high and I'm not going to argue with you. I don't know you. You're an emergency doctor, whatever. What I'm going to do is go to the doctor in a couple days. Forget what you saying because I'm not going out like this. So went to the doctor. I found a primary care doctor. She's really close to me. I'm actually very happy with her. Very good bedside manner. And she said, look, this is what we're going to do. As she's talking to me, she's checking vitals and doing things and very very calm in her bedside manner. She's not rushing. She's just, you know, easily and gently going through her procedures and asking questions. So she says, this is what we're going to do once she's done, checking my breathing and all that stuff. This is what we're going to do. First off, your heart, your blood pressure's high. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get some things done with your heart. We're going to find out what's going on with your blood pressure. We're going to get your echocardiogram because there's a history of heart attacks on my dad's side of the family. My dad had a five bypass surgery all in at one time because of blockage and everything, and a lot of people in his family have died from massive heart attacks. Um, and know this: just because they're older and heavy weight does not mean that history of heart attacks doesn't run in your family. That just means it's there and dormant until later on in life when things get a little heavier and whatever. Um, because my dad's side of the family, they're all very slender until they get into the, I don't know, their 70s, 80s, and then they start gaining some weight. But a lot of it is not massive overweight, but it is overweight. But anyway, so she did that and she sent me to an a heart doctor and a cardiologist. And so I had an echocardiogram today. We're going to get the results in a couple of days. They're going to send it to me and send it to the doctor, and then the doctor will contact me and we will go from there. So she said, we're going to get your heart situation done. Then we're going to get all of your yearly checkup things done, you know, everything. All that you need to do as a woman and as to be healthy, we're going to get all those done. And then after we get all these things settled, then we're going to talk about what we're going to do from here. So I like that because a lot of these doctors don't take the time to do that. They rush in, basically, blah, 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 and then walk out and say, see you next time. See the receptionist. I was like, hello. But this doctor is very nice, very her bedside manner is awesome. I would definitely recommend her to somebody else. I need to learn how to say her name correctly. But anyway, echocardiogram, y'all. That's where I'm at. Echocardiogram. And all I could say is single moms, we need to take better care of ourselves. We need to set boundaries for ourselves, set boundaries for other people. Don't worry about these people that act all kinds of ways because they don't like the boundaries, whether they're family members, people close to you. Um, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Um, but your self-love and your self-care is important. And yes, it should be one of the number one things on your list, but as you help other people as well, but you can only help other people from a better place. You could better help other people, let me say that, from a place of health, from a place of wholeness. As you're going up, you can help people. Because I've noticed that in my life, as I help people from where I am in need, and I help somebody from there, the ideas, the answers, whatever comes to me, because I've helped somebody else that's in a situation that I'm in as well, with whatever I have to help them with. So, I just want to say, echocardiogram, y'all. Let's get it right. Let's understand that we can't control our children. They're going to do stuff when we're not home. All we can do is pray over them and pray God's protection over them. Trying to closely um overbearingly monitor them not going to help you health wise. Yes, we need to be concerned. Yes, we do need to monitor them. Yes, we need to, do all of those things and put things in place that we can. But beyond that, I my mom's not here anymore, and I was like, "Dang, mom, how did you do all this?" And there were no cell phones, there were no cameras to be put in wherever that were affordable that you can get, or make payments on or whatever. None of this stuff was available. So now I'm just like, well, I think I need to use some of my mom's wisdom and do what she did. She prayed a lot, y'all. She prayed a lot for me. She had her friends praying for me. She put a hedge of protection around me in that way and did what she could. She was very strict. And of course, you can't go backwards, but you could change some things. And now that, when you have young adult children, you could have better conversations with them, and an open dialogue with them as well. So, anyway, that's the episode 4 echocardiogram. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. It's not worth your life um, because you can't control situations. Not your kids is what I'm not referring. I'm not referring to your kids, but you can't control situations. See where your heart is and where that's coming from. Where is that coming from? Dig to the root. Don't be afraid. Dig to the root and go get to it and find out where's that coming from. Why am I responding this way? And how can I do this differently? Don't neglect your health. All right? All right. That's it. Let's just be, y'all. Let's be better. Let's be who we are. Let's be the single moms that we are. Let's be the best that we can be, y'all. Through, through self. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go from just surviving to CEO in every area of our lives through self-care, self-love, and supporting one another in community. Let's do that. So this was kind of deep, y'all. And I'm already going deep on episode 4. So we're done with that. And I hope you guys have a great night. Much love. The podcast drops, new podcast drop every Monday. If you want to follow me on social media, you can do that. It is at Single Moms Level Up on IG and on Facebook. I'm trying to be more active and proactive on Facebook. And Single Moms Level Up on YouTube. That's the channel, and that's where the podcast is. Still working on getting the podcast to be broadcast and available through other wherever you get your podcast from type thing. That is still being worked on with this one man crew. And we'll see you next week, all Single Moms Level Up. I know the good news is going to be good. I just need to make some changes. And I'm willing to change. I'm willing to do it. What about you? What you going to do today? Have a great night, great evening, great day. Hashtag Single Moms Level Up. Bye. And we're